Welcome guys to another one of my reviews here, and I'm really excited to bring you guys this review because I have always wanted a virtual pinball machine in my home, but I never really had the space, never really had the money, and those things are huge, and obviously you guys know I'm working in an arcade room, and guys, look forward to this week dropping my arcade room tour, my full tour with this machine and all the other machines in the room and all the work that I've done. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and look forward to that coming out this week. And the week after that, I'll be doing my full game room tour. A lot of changes happened this year, so definitely make sure to tune in for that. But for today's video, we're looking at the virtual pinball machine that I got from Game Room Solutions. It is a mini pinball machine. It's a prefab that basically comes with all the wood parts, and you add the computer and the screens and stuff like that. And I have some stuff to say about this machine. As you guys can tell from that title, there is some stuff to talk about, some things that I didn't like, but is this going to be worth it overall to people who are looking for a mini virtual pinball machine? Let's go ahead and find out.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with the pinball machine that I made. We're going to show it off first here in the dark, so you guys can get a good feel of what it's like. It is on legs. This was all custom made by, it was a kit that came from Game Room Solutions. I put the whole thing together. It came with all the wood pieces, and basically I built the computer. I added the two TVs. The bottom, the playfield is a 27-inch screen, and then the top is an 18.5-inch screen. And then I added all the LED buttons and stuff here on the side. And this artwork I chose is really cool because it's actually labeled with what each button does, as you can see there. Exit, pause, play, plunger, and all that stuff. Even the side ones are labeled as well. You can see the side ones are used for nudge, and flipper. And you can see the artwork that I chose, just a collage of all the different pinball tables. You can see the other artwork here on the other side. And the legs is something I added as well, because you could use this on top of a counter if you wanted to, but the legs really make it feel like a real pinball machine. You can see the legs on here, and it just makes it look really good. And it is a 4K screen that I added, so this is running a 4K display. The PC that I chose to run this on is a 1660 Ti that's running all the 4K tables. Haven't had any issues with any of the tables or anything. It is still a work in progress. I'm using Pinball X, but I only have 78 tables on here, only FX3 and FX2 tables. I plan on, of course, adding Future Pinball and all the other tables, Visual Pinball, you know, Stranger Things tables and all that stuff. I even plan to add some of the MAME cabinets as well. Some of the MAME games that are like, what's the word, like vertical shmups. So I plan on adding some of those on here too. Those would be a perfect fit for a type of screen like this. So most of these do have artwork on both, as you can see, and it's got the DMD virtually up there on the second screen along with the artwork there on the side. So you can see it changes there on the top and bottom, so that looks really solid. That's a 720p screen up there, and this is like I said, a 4K screen here at the bottom. So that is how it's currently set up. Like I said, it has 78 tables so far, and that is the overview as far as in the dark. Table. Let me go ahead and show you this in the light, just in case some of you guys want to see it more clearly. So there that is. There's the 4K table up close. There's the side art on that side, and here is the side art on this side. So it incorporates all the side art, and that's the LED buttons and stuff. But let's go ahead and let's pick a table here to play through. Let's pick Family Guy. I know that that's here somewhere. Or actually, let's pick South Park. So you can see this table is cool. It has a nice feel to it. What I like about the new Pinball FX tables and stuff that Zen Studios does. As you heard there, you can actually hear like the actual sound effects from the show and stuff. It really puts you in the mood that you're actually playing a South Park table. The voice acting and stuff. Some of the tables even have like effects on top of the DMD screen where it goes through like movie scenes and stuff. that you'll see play up there. And I'm also really bad at pinball right now. But yeah, I never knew how much involved pinball was until I started playing these tables, as far as like all the different things you could do on one table. That gives you an idea what the table's like. I'm obviously not trying to show you how to play it or anything, or trying to get a high score. Maybe we'll do that in a different video. But just to give you an overview of what the table's like and how it feels and how it looks outstanding in 4K. But let's go ahead and get to the table, because I have a lot to say. This was made by Game Room Solutions. You could actually see that they stuck their logo here, GameRoomSolutions.com. And I have a lot of thoughts about this product from Game Room Solutions, so I want to definitely talk to you guys about this, my overall thoughts about what I feel about it. And so let's go ahead and get to the table now. Let's do it. Alright guys, so that's my virtual pinball cabinet from Game Room Solutions. So let's start off with some of the positives of what I like about this cabinet. First of all, Game Room Solutions, you know, they shipped it out really quickly. This obviously only being pieces of wood that are already pre-made and stuff, kind of like IKEA type furniture. So obviously it didn't take them any long to ship. They put the decal on there for me, the sticker that I chose. You can choose from any previous customer's artwork and stuff like that, so that was cool. Or just on your own. You send it to them, they put it on. It's laminated on there. No issues with that at all. I got that stuck on there. And it came really well. There wasn't any, there wasn't hardly any, like, it was like 99% perfect when it arrived in the box. It was packaged really well. Like I said, it only came in a few days, and the price for it was really reasonable. Everything that I got from them and all that. So it came with most of the hardware that you needed and stuff like that. More about that later. And so that was all good, how it all came into the package and everything that they did. So that was solid. The building part is where things kind of fell apart on this for sure. And not just the building part, but the customer service is atrocious. Here's where we start off with this video. So first of all, I got the cabinet in. The instructions, I don't know who sends these products, but the fact that there's no instructions, or at least not a little piece of paper in there that says, go watch our YouTube video, or go to our website to find the instructions, is ridiculous. But anyway, I already knew that those instructions weren't in the box, because I saw people on forums and stuff complaining that there were no instructions. So I already knew to ignore that, but I still think it's ridiculous, because I actually called them and asked, are there instructions in the box before I ordered it? Because some people are complaining that there wasn't, and they literally lied to my face and said that yes, there was, and nothing was in the box. So that was the first problem. So obviously, I went on their YouTube video, I went on their website to grab the instructions. The instructions literally don't match half or more than half of the things that come in this box, because they're 2 years old and they made changes to it. So when the instruction calls for a piece of wood that says, you know, use the piece of wood, and here's a picture of it, and it has 2 holes in the picture, and yours and none of your products have 2 holes in it, and you're looking for one that kind of looks like it, and you're like, well, it's got to be this one. It's got 4 holes in it, but it looks similar to it, and it's got to be that one. So a lot of trial and error and stuff like that, and I was like, this is just crazy. None of the instructions matched. Are over 2 years old, and they haven't cared to update it at all. So there's that. And I even told them about this when I called, that people were complaining online that the instructions didn't match because they were over 2 years old. And they had no reasoning. They were like, they acted shocked for a second. They were like, oh, no, that's not possible. And then they're like, and then they basically threw attitude to the people who complained on online and stuff, being like, and those guys are stupid. That was literally the verbiage that they said. Those guys are stupid. They should know how to put this together. If you can't put this together, then you shouldn't be buying the product. That was literally their response, and that was before I even purchased this thing from them. It's literally how they responded when I called their customer service. Then, after I got the product, when I figured out most of it, I was like, all right, I got most of it together. I figured it out by putting piece by piece, figured it all out. I got to the bottom portion of it where your PC actually sits on. And obviously, I had 3 pieces left over, and I was like, the instructions don't tell you how to put this thing together. Obviously, there's like 20 pounds of weight on the bottom of this thing. And the only thing I figured out, again, by looking at the screw holes, not because the instructions told you to, and there's no way to know because they completely changed the design on how the bottom actually latches and stuff. So it's literally nothing like the instructions or the YouTube video. But you can see there's 3 holes in the top right, and you can see that the last piece that I had left over had 3 holes in it. So I was like, all right, obviously this goes here. After looking around, I put the latch on there. It's like one of those latches that latch the thing, and you put a lock on it, so it's obviously really sturdy and it isn't going to go anywhere. But I ain't trusting 20 pounds worth of PC equipment with a flat piece that's like 20 inches long or whatever it is, with 20 pounds on it, with a latch sitting back here, and then the rest of this is just floating in midair. So this is the only thing latching it together. And I was so confused. I was like, am I missing a piece? There's no way that they left the front without anything to put on. So obviously at least balances itself out and has grips on both sides. I found nothing. And I called their customer service, like literally called them, got a response from them after trying to call them for like 10 times because their customer service is apparently very hard to get a hold of. I tried like literally every hour on the hour throughout the day. Finally got a hold of someone on customer service. They told me to send them an email. They were baffled that there was no instructions, which is ridiculous. I don't know how they don't know this. And that their YouTube video didn't help very much either. It helped a little bit, but not with this last part I had. She told me to send her pictures of what I was needing and give me an exact description of what I wanted. I told her exactly what was going on. I sent her a picture of the 3 pieces I had left over and how this actually latches on. And I got no clear advice from them at all. And I was getting really frustrated with them because we were going back and forth 3 times. And they gave me nothing. I literally told them I finally decided to tell them because I never knew this before. I'm literally going to review this for YouTube. And I need to know how this actually latches on because you guys aren't being helpful right now. And they literally stopped answering me. They literally didn't give a crap anymore. I don't know if it was the YouTube comment that they got nervous about, but regardless on if that's what they got nervous about, it is still ridiculous. Sorry for the language. Ridiculous that they actually stopped responding to me and didn't give me any help going forward. And then I tried to call them 10 times after that and got nothing. So I gave up. I went to Reddit. I went on the iCade forums, saw if anyone posted in there to see if anybody else purchased this kit from them before, and other people have. And they had the same problem as me. The instructions didn't match and all that stuff. And they were just as confused as me that the latch was the only thing on the back. But apparently that is the design. So if you buy one of these, the latch on the back that goes with the lock is actually his design. Apparently it won't fall out, even though there's 20 pounds on there. But I put that on there. And then I put the legs on it, which they do support. The legs are sold separately, but they do tell you to buy them, and they told me to buy them. So it's not like I'm putting on legs and causing it to float in midair, and that's not part of the design. They literally have the holes part of the design for the legs. I didn't have to make holes or anything. So that was good. So it's not like I'm doing anything crazy here, but I put the legs on. I went underneath there with just the latch, and it was literally sinking. Like this much. So the back was fully tight with the lock, and then the front was like this much going downwards. And it probably would have been fine. I wasn't trusting that for God knows all my PC parts down there. So I obviously got my own thing and just put a little latch on the other side and latched it on myself. So it latched on and held on much more than it did before. Hopefully that holds. It's been working great for the last 2 weeks that I've been messing with it. So I haven't, or almost 2 weeks. So I haven't had any issues with it. And it looks sturdy when I, moved it a little bit. It didn't look like it was moving or anything. And it looks perfectly flat now going across the board. But so maybe it wasn't going to be a problem. Maybe his solution is fine. It just has a little bit of a dip, like that much, like I said, and maybe that's fine. But I wasn't trusting that with my PC parts on there on legs, that's for sure. So their customer service is literally atrocious. I don't know what they're doing over there. The fact that I got lied to, that there was instructions in the box when I literally told you that everyone's saying that there wasn't. Then the instructions aren't updated for over 2 years when you change the design. So you willingly change the design to apparently make it better. Didn't care to either make a YouTube video to show the design changes or the instructions. And no, they're not simple to follow just because you had the instructions from 2 years ago. The pieces are all very different. The bottom latch is completely different. The parts don't have anything to do with the bottom at all. Like I said, it's now a lock mechanism on the back. So that's ridiculous. And then they stopped answering me when I tried to ask for help, which is ridiculous. And I think there's a flaw in the design that there's only a latch on the back and not anything else all the way through the front. But obviously you can easily fix that yourself, but I think that's probably something they should revisit. But what's crazy about all of this and their customer service support is that I love this thing. This thing is a miniature. It's a mini virtual cabinet pinball that I've always wanted because I can't fit in my arcade room over there. I can't fit a full size pinball machine that's like 40 inches or 32 inches. So I was looking for something mini that easily would support legs, and there's not many options out there when it comes to free prefab units that are ready to go, and you just have to add your parts in there. And this was obviously one of the few ones out there that fit the exact measurements of what I wanted, that would actually fit in my room and still be a really decent size at being 27 inches on the playfield and a 19-inch screen on the top. So, and actually had custom artwork that I can choose and all that. The LED buttons were cool. And so I actually like the cabinet a lot. As far as the actual, the build quality seems pretty solid, minus that bottom not being latched like I talked about. Everything else seemed pretty solid. The artwork and stuff, the wood and stuff, all that seemed great. The plexiglass that it comes with, that came with most of the hardware that you needed, all that stuff was great. And I'm having a lot of fun with the machine. And after all of this, and after all the nonsense I just talked about their customer service, I'm still going to say whoever's looking for a miniature virtual pinball machine, this is still something I recommend. And the reason I have no issue recommending this is because there's not a lot like this. And if you want this size and you want it pre-built like this, you're not going to have many options to go about. That's number one. And number two, even though their customer service is really atrocious, you're not really going to need them for much of this because they're not going to be replacing anything. There's no actual hardware in here. It's not like they gave me monitors or they gave me, the PC or anything. All they gave me was the LED buttons. And if one of those LED buttons, and they gave me a few extra in the bag, which was really cool, it's not going to be that big of a deal if one of those LED buttons eventually go out because one, they gave me like 3 extra ones, and 2, they're really cheap to replace. So, and I'm probably not going to go through them, and hopefully they last for a long time anyway. But they come from Ultimark, and the buttons do, and I don't really have any issues with them. They feel great, they're really responsive, and like I said, easily for me to swap out if I need to. So I really don't need them for anything as far as customer service goes from here on out. To have any reason to really contact them because the thing is built, it's working, and they're not going to do anything for me regardless. And that's going to be your situation. If you want this cabinet and there's nothing else you could find like this and you can't build it yourself, this is still a really good idea to purchase because, like I said, there's not many out there, and it's going to give you that virtual pinball feel, which is what I love, and it easily incorporates tables that you can add to this thing without any issues because the holes are already built in for it. And overall, it took me, I think, 3 hours to build once all was said and done, and it would have taken a lot less if I wasn't like guessing at half the things I was putting together and staring at it for 30 minutes of what to do with the bottom because I didn't feel like that one lock was enough. But yeah, that's the tricky thing with this one is that I really actually like the product. I just think their customer service is terrible. And all they have to do is really simple. Update the goddamn instructions for this. Either make a new video or put new instructions online on how to actually put this thing together. Maybe look at that bottom latch one more time. And see if there's something that you could add to the other side so it evens itself out. But apparently they're trustworthy with that lock thing on there. I mean, it is sturdy. It obviously is a really strong latch on the back there. But other than that, the product is really solidly built. The artwork is cool that you can do your own and stuff. They did a really solid job with that. It shipped really quickly. Once it's all set up and go, like you guys just saw, it looks fantastic. It works really well. And there's not anything else really out there like it if you're looking for a size like this that incorporates legs really easily. So, I'm kind of in the middle with this one, but I'm still happy I bought it. And I'm still happy that it's now finally built and I got through all the hurdles about it. So if you guys are okay with doing some DIY with it, as far as figuring stuff out with the instructions and stuff because they're pretty bad and they're more like a guidance, not actual real instructions that you're going to be able to use to the T, then go for it because it's not expensive at all and it really can get you a mini virtual cabinet. And I definitely recommend you guys add the legs to it because it really adds to the pinball feel. Like once I added the legs to it, the first few days I had it on the floor and then I added the legs to it, it really made it like, holy shit, now it looks like a staple piece in the room because it really now made it, from sitting on the floor, sitting on like a table or something, to now being in the air like an actual pinball cabinet should be, and it looks really, really good. So I'm really happy with that, and I'm really happy overall with the product. Obviously, it's not as good as what you're going to get with the 32 inches and out there. The screens will obviously be bigger. The speakers here are at the bottom, so they're not sitting at the front there like you would want them. They're sitting at the bottom because there's not a lot of room up there. But the only negatives are, besides their customer service and stuff, and the building part, is that the speakers aren't at the front. They're obviously sitting at the bottom, but everything else is outstanding, and it's a great size unit for me. And if you guys have any questions about any of the thing that I showed you guys here today, or any questions about putting this thing together, or anything about the cabinet itself, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a brekkie is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.